right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Chase Golightly at the state capitol, where one of several large protests happened throughout the valley, all against ICE. We're speaking with protesters tonight.
I'm Kyle Simchuk in Surprise, where people have mixed feelings about a new warehouse ICE plans to detain people in, and it's only a few hundred feet away from family homes.
We're now just a week away from the Winter Olympics, and we're meeting an American speed skater looking for another medal.
I'm meteorologist Chris Dunn. The weather trend ahead, the cold stays cold back east, and we stay warm. In fact, near record warmth in my weather impact forecast.
12 News at 10 starts now.
Tonight we're bringing you team coverage, taking a look at the impact ICE's immigration operations are having here in Arizona, with thousands of students walking out of class today as part of a nationwide ICE Out protest.
Along with mixed reactions out of the West Valley after reports of ICE purchasing a massive warehouse in Surprise that could be used to detain people. Thanks for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. A nationwide strike took place today, calling for a day of no school, work, or shopping as a way to protest ICE and its enforcement practices. Here in the Valley, Sky 12 was over several large walkouts and protests as crowds of people demanded an end to immigration enforcement in Arizona. Organizers say the protests are in response to recent ICE actions, including the 2 fatal shootings in Minneapolis. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly is live at the state capitol tonight, where one of the largest demonstrations took place. But Chase, this really was happening across the Phoenix metro today.
Mark, that's correct. And for the most part, all these demonstrations were peaceful. But now, hours after they ended, we're starting to get reports from Valley Police Departments telling us they have made some arrests on these protesters. They marched to the state capitol, carrying signs, all with the same message.
Right now, we are fighting, as you can see, against ICE. ICE is terrorizing our streets, terrorizing our people.
One of many large protests across the valley calling for ICE operations to stop.
It is about right and wrong, and what's going on right now is 100% wrong.
I just feel like I need to be out here, support for the people who can't, and who want to protest and want to speak up, but they can't.
Hundreds gathering here and in Scottsdale. A candlelight vigil held for Renee Good and Alex Preddy, 2 U.S. citizens killed by federal agents in Minnesota just weeks apart.
That the killing needs to stop.
We want to stop having military-style occupations in our cities.
Worried about similar situations here. Before these protests, dozens took place outside Valley schools. Students from ASU, Mesa, Chandler, Avondale, and more all left class to hold their own demonstrations, including students at Millennium High School in Goodyear.
I feel like it's a civil duty for all of the U.S. citizens to stand up for when it's not right.
Police cruisers seen driving right by the dozens of students, while the majority of these protests were peaceful. Mesa police tell us they did arrest 2 middle school students at Poston Junior High for throwing objects at officers. In Chandler, outside Hamilton High School, police say an anti-protester wearing a mask and carrying a gun started interacting with multiple students, leading to a teenage girl throwing a water bottle at him. Police say the masked man asked to press charges. The student was arrested for assault and disorderly conduct. A viewer sent us a photo claiming this was the anti-protester seen talking with police. However, Chandler police could not confirm if it was him. Maricopa County Superintendent Shelley Boggs sharing this statement yesterday denouncing the protests, saying in part, allowing minors to leave school during instructional hours creates real risks to student safety and exposes schools and families to liability. And we just received this video from Mesa Police Department of that incident at Poston Junior High, where you can see it's from the perspective of a Mesa motorcycle officer, where on the left side of the screen, it appears to you see a student throwing a water bottle at another motorcycle officer. As soon as they see that, they get off the bikes and immediately take down the student, putting her in handcuffs. Also in that video, you can see what appears to be a second water bottle being thrown. Again, this was just released within the past 15 minutes. We are still waiting for more information on this situation. But again, all these arrests are being announced hours after these protests ended. We'll be sure to keep you updated if police announce more arrests in the next coming days. We're live in downtown Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thanks. New at 10, mixed reaction in the West Valley tonight over a massive warehouse in Surprise that ICE could turn into a makeshift detention facility.
Questions remain about how the facility might be used and when it could open, but the Washington Post reports that the facility will be used to house 1,500 detainees.
12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk went out to that facility and spoke to those who live nearby.
All throughout the evening, we've seen people driving through in cars, some on bikes, coming to take a look at this new warehouse ICE purchased for $70 million. And tonight, there's no shortage of opinions about it. It's the size of 7 football fields. ICE hasn't said how it'll be used, but for people living near Dysart Road and Cactus Road, the purchase is raising questions.
As long as it's secure.
Brittany Thie lives less than 1,000 feet from the warehouse.
The things that have occurred are sad and unfortunate, but I'm not against it. I'm not 100% in support of it.
Her main concern, whether the facility will attract crowds of protesters.
If it gets noisy, that's probably going to be an issue for the neighborhood. We all have kids or pets. My dogs are going to go nuts.
But for Marcus Curley, a Native American who lives nearby, this facility represents something more personal.
They're right down from where I live.
He now carries personal documents, including his birth certificate, at all times.
I don't want to end up in jail. Our whole family member. We all went to Staples, got all our records, yep. So we're prepared just in case.
Republican state legislators from the area are backing the purchase. Surprise Representative Nick Cupper said, quote, "If ICE is able to legally run a detention center and enforce immigration laws, I am fully supportive." Republican Majority Leader John Kavanaugh called it, quote, "a great idea because it'll improve enforcement and offer a modern, air-conditioned space for those awaiting deportation or a due process hearing."
I'm really surprised that I'm hearing from Republicans in the area who are excited about having such a massive facility housing the, quote, worst of the worst right in their backyard.
The city of Surprise says it was not notified about the purchase, and federal projects are not subject to local zoning regulations. ICE has not responded to questions from 12 News about whether the warehouse will be used as a detention center or when operations might begin. And there is a protest planned for tomorrow morning here in Surprise at Bell Road and Civic Center Drive. That begins at 9 a.m., and it will focus on this new facility. We're in Surprise tonight. Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Kyle, thanks. Continuing our coverage now. Tonight, we're hearing from the family of 2 men who were detained after federal agents raided the Zip Sports Grill in Scottsdale this week.
Bernice Medina says that her brother Leo and father Carlos worked as kitchen staff at Zips for more than a decade. On Monday, federal agents zip-tied and detained both men, taking them to the Eloy detention facility. Medina calls them hard-working providers who have lived in the valley for years despite being in the country illegally. She says that her father called her over the phone as agents served search warrants connected to identity theft and false employment records.
These people are hard-working people. They really don't want to do harm. They just want to give their kids a better life. They want to give their kids opportunities that they didn't have in the country that they left many, many years ago. So that's all we're asking for, is just a chance to help grow this country and this community.
Homeland Security investigation says multiple workers were using fake IDs and Social Security cards to work at Zips and somehow were able to pass through Arizona's E-Verify system, which is supposed to vet someone's immigration status so they can work legally. State Senator Mark Fincham has introduced a bill that would require all employers to run prospective employees through the E-Verify system.
Happening right now, the government is partially shut down after the Senate passed a spending agreement backed by President Donald Trump. It funds 3/4 of government agencies through the end of September. However, the Department of Homeland Security only gets 2 weeks worth of funding.
Democrats demanded the short-term funding for DHS as a way to give Congress time to negotiate long-term changes to ICE. The spending package now heads to the House. Sources say House Republicans were told to expect to vote on Monday, and they'll be looking for Democratic help to pass it. If the House passes the bill on Monday, the partial shutdown will have very limited effect since it's happening over the weekend.
We are learning new information about the deadly shooting involving Phoenix police on Monday. Court documents say that 33-year-old Edgar Garcia reportedly went to a home near 75th Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road with multiple firearms. Garcia's father is the landlord of that home. Police say that after Garcia shot at the home multiple times, he forced entry and got into a fight with 36-year-old Christian Diaz and another man. When officers arrived, records say that Diaz was on top of Garcia, and an officer fired one shot from his rifle, which hit and killed Diaz. Arizona law allows someone to be charged with murder if during the course of committing another crime, they cause the death of another person. Garcia now faces a dozen charges, including murder. His bond has been set at $1 million.
12 News meteorologist Chris Dunn is standing by. And Chris, it's been a great January. What does it look like as we head into February?
More of the same, basically. I don't really see much of a change in this overall weather pattern, which has high pressure ridging over the west and a big trough over the east. More cold weather for the folks back east, and actually more snow for North Carolina and South Carolina. Big storm developing this weekend. The red you see here, this means a high probability of above average temperatures. This goes from February 5th through the 9th. So a continuation of this high heat January style, in February style at least. 77 degrees our high today. The normal is 69. Record 82. So we're staying away from records, but we're well above normal. And in fact, over the weekend, we'll get close to a record. After all of the numbers are all assembled, including our forecast numbers for tomorrow, we'll likely end up with the 4th warmest January on record. Here's how your Saturday plays out. A little bit of a chill, just a little bit in the morning, 50 degrees at 8 a.m., but then warming up to near 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Oh, but it gets warmer from here. I have the rest of the numbers in my 7-day forecast coming up.
Chris, thanks. Well, we are just 1 week away. A week from tonight, the 2026 Winter Games get underway, and you can watch all the action right here on 12 News, including American speed skater Brittany Bowe.
That's right. She's gearing up for her 4th Olympic Games, and at the age of 37, she feels right at home as her role as a team leader.
Sticks. I don't know the trends these days. I'm not on TikTok, so I have no idea what is in and what is out. I'm an old lady who just likes to be at home now.
It's Home Gardening with Brittany Bowe.
Hillary and I bought a home last year, and I really enjoy being in the yard doing yard work. And that is what I look forward to doing, and I think that is the moment that I realized I'm an old lady.
Who is Hillary?
Hillary is my partner. Some people may know her. She's a pretty famous hockey player.
A historic moment for Hillary Knight. This is her 10th gold medal to become the all-time leader in most golds at a world championship.
We do a little bit of training together in Salt Lake. She's trying to teach me how to turn right and stop. I'm trying to teach her how to skate fast.
I'm wondering where you are.
Cycling is a huge part of my training. It has recently become a part of Hillary's training.
Come on. She's so slow.
But she has to use an electric bike to keep up with me.
And don't let her fool you. She's got an electric bike back there.
I'm out there for 2-3 hours sometimes, so she may be a little miserable, but she's a great sport and more time together. I think we're both very competitive, but I don't know if we really go at each other in that way. We both kind of picked up pickleball recently, so we're competitive with that, but I personally like being on her team better than against her.
I absolutely crush her. Never let me use my paddle again.
Because she's really good. And I want to win together. She's my teammate.
Brittany Bowe closing hard, and Brittany Bowe has an Olympic medal. It's bronze for Bowe.
Can't wait. Again, it's a week from tonight. The Olympics get underway with the opening ceremony on February 6th.